gonna wake you in the morning, and who's gonna keep you when storms are coming? I will always and who's gonna teach me how to listen? And who's gonna love me without a reason? Will you always? Through all the trouble and all the worry, time's gonna bring our way. With all the beauty, through all the heartache, will we always? And who's gonna kiss?
Hello and welcome back. It's been 4 years since we did a video together.
Oh, it would be 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah, it's got to be 4 years.
Yes.
Because my hair was, oh no, it was,
No, you had a crop.
I did.
You had a crop.
Yeah, but then I did have long hair as well.
Yes, but she has just cut it. So you've missed out on all of that growth.
And there is a video of us where I've got long hair.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to have to go back and look.
It grew in lockdown.
Oh, in lockdown.
Yeah,
And
but
then
I've just had it cut again. It was probably about down here, and I just had it cut again.
Yes, and it's very pretty. Don't you agree? So Mum is here in Australia with me. It's your last day today.
It's my last day.
And we've been too busy having fun to do this YouTube video until now, in true our family spirit.
Yeah.
Last minute. A last minute spirit is what we have.
But we do our best work.
But we do our best work. Yeah, under pressure. We're very good at that.
Yeah.
So Mum has spent 3 weeks here because we together have turned 100 within the last month. So we had a big...
Well, in the last 2 weeks.
In the last 2 weeks, yes. Yeah, but I'm a November baby, which are the best, by the way. You're a December baby.
Which is the best?
Scorpio.
Sagittarius.
Yeah, so I turned 40, Mum turned 60. We had a big party, and the weather for Australia has been naff until yesterday, basically. So
well, we did have one really good day last week.
Yeah.
But other than that, lots of rain.
I know. Yeah, lots of rain.
Yeah, which the gardeners
She brought
enjoyed,
England
but,
with her. Made me feel at home. So we are going to... I asked in my Facebook group and on my Facebook page ages ago some questions, and I'm so sorry, but it's been a nightmare getting ready for Mum's arrival because it's like the Queen coming, and I haven't had time to film this until now, and I thought it'd be really cool actually to do it with Mum because I think some of the questions you'll have some things to say as well to add another perspective. So we're going to do a video now on some questions about the move to Australia, and we're going to go for lunch at a vineyard, and then when we're back we're going to hopefully have, you know, last minute spirit, some extra questions to answer. So these questions will be kind of Australia focused, so Mum's going to ask them to me and then we'll talk about them. So first one was from Carol.
All right, so the first one from Carol, her question is, would love to know more about the whole Australia decision. I think I read that your husband is Australian. Did he feel he wanted to return home? Are there better opportunities for him in relation to his work? Or all of your family opportunities, Arlo future, etc. Has this been on the cards for many years, or just a come on, let's go? Did you personally have to think about it for a long time, or did it feel right for everyone? I'm too old now to emigrate, and also I have grown-up children that I wouldn't leave, but has it felt like being able to make a fresh start?
Ooh, a fresh start. I don't know. I don't feel like I needed a fresh start, but of course, naturally, it's a fresh start because you are beginning again. But I always knew that Australia was probably on the cards because my husband isn't Australian. He's actually half Kiwi, half British, but he spent his entire 20s in Australia. He did his growing up here, and this is home to him. So we've been together for 18 years now, and that whole time I have known that he wanted to come back to Australia. I was really resistant, I think, until 3 years ago, I would say. But we just reached the point where our son was very nearly going to secondary school. We nearly bought a house that would have been a proper money pit.
Yeah.
And I think maybe getting a little bit older, I was just a bit like, actually, being a TradWife, I haven't had those adventures that people would do, like going traveling in their younger years. Even though I've been on holidays, I'd never been traveling. I'd never had like a great big adventure. And it just really felt the right time for all of us to come. And I must say, I think the driver, you would have thought it was my husband. Actually, the driver was me. I decided, and I think
in the end,
once once I'd made the decision, because I was the resistant one, it was like, come on, let's go. Let's start selling everything and pack up and move here. And also, I think because we've moved about quite a lot, haven't we? Like we've moved houses quite frequently, and we moved out of London to the Cotswolds. I kind of realised that I was really, because I'm such a traditionalist, I really wanted roots. And I realised that actually you can have that anywhere, and nothing has to be permanent, nothing has to be forever. And a friend of mine that I've met out here called Tim, who's British but has lived all over the world, he said to me, you will be happiest where you choose to be. And I was just like, that's so true. That is so true. So yeah, work-wise for my husband, he works for himself and it's a digital business. So he's what they call a digital nomad. So he can work anywhere.
He can work anywhere.
It doesn't, none of his, well, he had a few clients in the UK, but they're mostly in America. So that really didn't impact things. But a massive driver as well was teenage years for our son Arlo, because he is such, I mean, you've barely seen him.
No, he's an outdoor kid.
He's an outdoor kid, and you just can't, I mean, you can get that in England, but it's soggy and wet, whereas here, he's just out all the time, and he's just such an adventurer. And kids do have a different life out here compared to that.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
And I feel safer with him going out on his bike because there's nature trails, and like, it's set up for that, really, and they're so sport orientated, but it's just better for him for his teenage years.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, definitely. Yeah, I mean, he's definitely thoroughly enjoying his life here, I think. He's got some really good friends, and they're off out on their bikes enjoying
and they go off to the beach.
Yeah.
And you know, we've made some really lovely friends who were around last night for a barbecue, actually.
They were around.
But they'll take Arlo off to the beach, and we'll all go together, and it's just a lot nicer, I think, than perhaps the teenage years he would have experienced in the UK, which would have been lovely in its own way, but I just think for him and his personality, it's definitely better for him out here.
Yeah, definitely. I would agree with that. So yeah.
Right, next one, because we're trying to wrap this up quickly, because we've got
trying not to waffle, basically.
Yes, I think that's the aim, is not to waffle too much.
Although we can do that.
We can do that.
Yeah, we can do that. Right, so Pauline asks, 3 things you miss about the UK and 3 things you love about Australia.
That's a really good one. I've been thinking about this ahead of time. I'm going to leave out all of the really common ones like my mum and my family and friends.
But we have FaceTime.
We do. I came out here because my dad has also lived here for nearly 30 years. So that was another reason that it was easy for me to come, because I did say, if we're going to Australia, I want to be near my dad. But I came out when I was 14 and I felt like I was on the other side of the world. But with FaceTime and WhatsApp, and I still speak to my best friends every day, and we, you know, the time zone, I can catch them in the morning and I can catch them in the afternoons, but we're still talking every day. Mum and I talk on FaceTime twice a week at least. And send each other, like, I think we speak more on FaceTime than we did when we were living closer.
When you just lived 15, 20 minutes.
And we can't physically spend time together, but I don't this is going to sound, I don't miss you as much as I thought I would. I don't miss you as much. So the things that I really miss, and these are very wacky, well, actually one of them's wacky. I really miss the supermarkets. I'm sorry, Australia, but I mean, I've taken to mum to a couple of the supermarkets, so you might have a different view of it, but I miss the variety of the supermarkets.
Yeah.
And I miss going into a supermarket like, say, Sainsbury's, for example, and looking at the clothes first, and then the home section and things like that. And I also miss there was a lot more seasonal stuff.
Yes.
So, like, particularly the second thing I miss is the Marks and Spencer food hall. When I go back to the UK, I'm going on a pilgrimage to the Marks and Spencer food hall. Although, what did you bring in your suitcase?
Percy Pigs and Colin the Caterpillar.
Mum had a list. She bought this humongous suitcase that was mostly full of stuff for us.
Yeah. All of my clothes were just packed in the carry-on.
Yeah.
That was it.
And I sent her to Marks and Spencer's with a shopping list for the seasonal stuff, like the Halloween Scream munch mix and things like that. That's what you don't get here. So I do miss the supermarket.
I would get lots of messages saying, can you buy this? Can you bring this? Can you bring this? So off I would go shopping.
Yeah, that's cute. And I've got some of my friends like will send me care packages as well with like mostly custard creams and bourbon biscuits.
Yeah. Oh, I have to bring those as well.
There's always those in the parcel. And I don't know what it is about the tea bags here, but they've all got the string and such a pain in the bum. Yeah. So Mum sends me, it's very specific, Tesco own brand decaf Earl Grey. By the shoebox load, they come over, and my friend Nikki does that as well. So what's that? Supermarkets, biscuits and tea. And I really miss, because I love history, I really miss just seeing like a really old building when you go down a high street, or like the very first house that I rented when I moved out of home was an old Tudor house opposite the Abbey in Tewkesbury. My old bedroom was Elizabethan, you know, and like before that we were in a cottage that was Victorian. So I do miss that history. Yeah, I really do.
There's not a lot of that, even though we've been to some, during my visit, we've been to some sort of, you know, smaller, older towns. Yeah. They still don't have those kind of historical buildings.
And you can't say because it's a young country, because it's not a young country. It's so ancient, and there's obviously all the Aboriginal history and stuff, but Western, for want of a better word, colonisation, settlement, only really happened in kind of like the late 1800s, and none of those buildings would still be standing because they were in, you know, wooden cottages and things like that. And there's a few Victorian things, and but not many. But I miss the old history stuff. And then what was it? 3 things I love about Australia. Do you know what? I love the friendliness and the confidence of people.
Yeah.
So
extremely friendly.
Mum and I are chatters, and sometimes we would go, like I would go to a supermarket in England, and you just randomly chat to the people on the till, and they'll be polite, but they're a little bit reserved. Yeah. Whereas Australians are so confident. Even the kids are really confident.
Yeah, they're really confident, but they're also extremely polite. Yeah. I've noticed that they're extremely confident. You can have great conversations with them.
They'll hold a conversation.
With you, and they are extremely polite.
And the adults, the banter as well.
Oh, the banter!
You could be in the aisle of like the supermarket, or like Bunnings, which is like the hardware shop, and someone will say something, and you're just cracking up and having like 5 minutes of banter.
Yeah.
And in that vein as well, it's kind of really easy to make friends, I think, because people are willing to talk to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And you've made, because a lot of them were invited to the party, and you've made some amazing friends here.
Yeah, really, we've been really lucky.
Really lucky. But then also, funny enough, we were talking about it at the party, weren't we? You're a collector.
I collect people.
She collects people, and has managed to collect this amazing group of people who I think will be lifelong friends. And they were just so lovely and welcoming to me as well. Which was really wonderful, because I've never been here before, and I'm meeting all these people for the first time.
Yeah.
So that was really, really wonderful.
I think there were about, in the end, maybe 50 or 60 people.
Yeah.
And you knew my husband and my son.
Yeah.
My friend Becky came over from the UK, actually.
Becky came from the UK,
so
and
she was
obviously
here.
your dad.
Yeah, my mum's ex-husband
and
was here.
his lovely wife.
Yeah.
But
apart from that, you didn't really know anybody.
I didn't know anybody, no. And they just have been so yes, the people of Australia are really lovely and really welcoming, and very often we've been in shops and we get, oh, I love your accent. Yeah. They seem to love the English accent as well, which is a great conversation starter as well.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, I just thought another thing, actually, I really miss British TV. But Australian TV, like this is another thing that ties into the way that the people are. The news anchors in the morning. They're so not serious.
No, they're not serious.
But I just love that, because everything is just always so light-hearted, and they're just like, it's so funny. So most mornings you sit there having a coffee, and I'm just like cracking up because they're so funny. They're so funny. I think that. Oh, do you know what? Another thing. Again, it's the. Sorry for interrupting. I just thought, because I'll forget otherwise. As much as I miss the supermarkets, I love that there's so many more independent trades here.
There are. Yeah.
So you can, there's only one place to go in the UK to get a certain something or other or whatever, but there's so many butchers, bakers, candlestick makers, even the industry, like what's it called? Like people making stuff like carpenters, and there's so much independent trade, which I think is wonderful. I really love that. It's not just like a monopoly of one thing.
No.
An ownership of that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, when the sun shines, the weather.
Absolutely.
The weather.
Yeah.
Although I'm not a hot weather person.
No, you're not.
I like it because it makes my boys really happy, because they're
hot weather. They're hot weather people. Yeah.
Hot weather people.
Yeah.
And I do like that. I do like that. And I like my new home as well, because it's so.
You've made yourselves a beautiful home.
Yeah, it's an old white weatherboard cottage that was built in the late 40s. So it's just like. Yeah. No, it's just really lovely. And the houses here, I think the opportunity for, buying or renting, the space that you have, like the Australian houses are so much bigger.
Yes,
absolutely.
We've
got so much more space.
Yeah.
And
No, definitely. Right, on to the next one. So, Just Me says, would love to hear how you have found the challenge of making friends in a new land. I recently moved thousands of miles from friends. I'm a little older than you and finding it really difficult to meet that special one-on-one friend rather than just a bunch of acquaintances at church, etc.
Yeah.
So glad to see your posts. I used to follow you on Instagram, but completely understand why you left. It can be a lovely, but also a very sort of cruel place at times.
Yeah. Well, that question aged because I'm now back on Instagram.
Yeah.
Obviously, these questions came in before that. Do you know what? I think this is something that afflicts people regardless of whether you move away or not. Because making friends can be a hard thing. I'm really good at making friends, but I think sometimes I'm a little too enthusiastic about it. Something I've learned in recent years is maybe to how do I phrase it? I love giving people grace. I will give people grace, and I think that makes you a target sometimes for some people whose intentions are quite nice.
Sure.
Like I think when you're my kind of personality, I'm what you call an empath.
Yeah.
And I always want to help people. And I think hospitality, we were talking about this the other day.
Yeah.
Hospitality is something that Mum and I both love. I think, which is why I love being a homemaker and welcoming people in. But sometimes you can do that and you kind of almost like have a bit of self-abandonment.
Yeah.
Like people will give you all their problems as a friend, and you end up taking that on, and then they take advantage and stuff like that. So I find it really easy to make friends, but I think that's just because I'm outgoing. But I know what you mean about some of them feeling like acquaintances, and some people just don't stick sometimes.
No.
And you can find them in the most unlikeliest of places. But what I've figured out is that it's about quality over quantity, because I used to just want to be friends with everybody and I wanted everyone to like me. And sometimes things just aren't that way, are they? And you can make some of your best friends a lot later in life. I've got some friends who are still friends with their friends from like primary and secondary school. And as much as I'm in touch with a few of them, same with you.
Yeah, I mean, I've got friends who I've been, who have been in my life since I was 5 years old, and we keep in touch, but we're not, geographically, there's an issue. I'm now in the Cotswolds, and they're still in sort of London base where I mainly grew up. But that connection never goes. We just pick up as and when, if we're together or we chat, online, through, Messenger or something like that.
Yeah.
But I think you're right in the sense that, I've never ever had a big pocket of friends. I've always had sort of a few friends, but the older I've got, it is about the quality of the relationship is far more important to me.
Yeah. But she says about meeting that special one-on-one friend,
and that can happen anywhere. You can have people that are in your life for 5 minutes, and they bring something with them that you learn from, you take from it, and you grow from it. And then you can have people in your life for your lifetime, and they bring that too. But then you can have some people coming into your life who, it's a very short period of time, and they teach you a very
important lesson,
a very harsh lesson sometimes.
Yes.
But it's about learning to recognise that maybe there's a problem there.
And I would say, if you're looking, so obviously you're saying a bunch of acquaintances at church, and I think for all of us that are Christians going to church, I think this is something that gripes my husband, actually. He says everyone turns up with their best face at church, and they're all like, everything's fine and everything's wonderful, how are you? And it's the same kind of recycled conversation sometimes. Given that you go to church, I would say you're likely a Christian like me. I would say pray for a friend. I've done it. I've prayed for friends, and they do turn up. They do. But again, sometimes we're not given the answers to our prayers right away. Sometimes we're given the answer to our prayers much later in life. So I've got some lovely friends here, really lovely friends. But I'm not sure I've found my person just yet in terms of, comparative to the friends that I've got back in the UK, in terms of the intimacy of our friendships. But that takes time as well. And you also need to, we were having this chat just the other day about how some of your closest girl friendships can be as intimate as a romantic relationship, because you are sharing just as much time, just as much history, just as much intimacy in terms of your thoughts, fears, desires for life with a friend. And not having that and losing that can be a grief as well.
Oh, absolutely.
But in the same vein, you need to date that person. You need to make the effort to nurture that friendship. So you need to put as much energy into someone who you might go, oh, we might click. You need to put in as much.
Absolutely. But I would say with certain boundaries as well, because sometimes
you can get hurt as well.
you can get hurt in the sort of similar vein of being a relationship. The term of soulmate is not just limited to your life partner, as in, you know,
husband
or boyfriend or whatever,
interest.
or your romantic interest. The term soulmate can also be in what we would term as your best friend. You know, when just, you know, there's that closeness and that intimacy in the sense of, you know, your psychological and emotional sort of balance.
Yeah.
They too are your soulmates.
Yeah, and it also needs to work both ways, because I think sometimes this is something that's not often spoken about. You can often fall into slightly narcissistic, unbalanced.
That's why there need to be boundaries.
Friendships.
That's why there need to be also boundaries in a friendship with somebody.
And like you might get the ick with someone you're dating, you can get the ick with a friend as well.
Yeah, I think it's about establishing your own self-worth and what you're prepared to, you know.
Yeah, and when that's in place,
yeah,
your person will come.
Your person will come.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
So, next question.
I'm just mindful that we're 25 minutes in now.
Are we? Well, so we can.
We're very good at doing long format. Yeah,
we are. Sarah said, "How are you dealing with the Australian wildlife? The idea of dealing with snakes and things gives me the heebie-jeebies."
Heebie-jeebies. Absolutely. Totally with you, Sarah. I'm lucky in the fact that I'm not living in the outback, which I think people have this perception.
I think people have this perception
of
that
Australia where
you're in the outback. You know, there is only the outback and whatever. But
we are very much in the suburbs. Well, we're in the suburbs on the very, like we were in the Cotswolds actually, where we lived. Where I lived, it was just outside Cheltenham, and there was literally 5 minutes in the other direction. You were in Painswick and proper countryside, like in Cirencester way. But here we are literally like an hour outside of the city, but 10 minutes down the road it's like farms and vineyards and things like that. So we do see a bit of wildlife. I have not seen a snake, thank you Jesus, because I don't know how I'd cope with that, because
they will run before you even,
unless it's an eastern brown, they're aggressive and they will chase you. But anyway,
learn to run fast.
If you walk around really loudly, apparently they'll slither off. But luckily in my suburban garden I have not seen a snake. I think do you know what it's done actually? The growth that's come out of moving here is that it has desensitized me to spiders. Yeah. Because English spiders are nothing compared to Australian spiders. Like, there's no English spider that can kill you. But that being said, I've seen a huntsman twice, and they've been outside. My husband's got like what would you call it? A man shed, cinema room, bar thing. And we've seen a huntsman on it, and it was a baby one, which was the size of my hand. We cleaned up a rather crispy one when we were cleaning ahead of the party. It was all, Mum picked it up, it was all dry and shriveled. The real dangerous one is a redback, and I've never seen one of those, but we're very sensible with, you know, picking stuff up in the garage, and because they're more garden spiders, outdoor spiders. And we have had 2 whitetails in the house, and they can't kill you, but they will give you a nasty bite. But again, they're not running at you it's not like arachnophobia where they're jumping at you. And they used huntsmans in that movie, did you know?
No, I
all of those spiders in that movie were huntsmans.
Oh, were they?
Yes.
Oh.
But we've had 2 whitetails, but you just, like my husband used to do back in the UK, you just get a bit of tissue and squish it. We do have a rather fantabulous salt rifle thing.
Yeah, we did last week have to.
We'll have Peter, the animal people having a go.
Oh yeah,
we killed a few spiders. Let's just say
we displaced.
No, we unalived them, is what they say. We unalived some spiders, but they're the only things I think. That's what plenty of them. What, the spiders? Yeah, but I'm not scared of them anymore.
Just a couple.
I've realised they're not actually trying. I tell you what's more annoying is the mosquitoes.
Oh, got 2 big bites on my leg at the moment.
Yeah, not good. I've got mosquito syndrome as well, which I have allergic reactions to the proteins in the mosquito bites. So I've had some beautiful welts that big on my leg. It's rather dainty.
Rather dainty. But in my time here, a plethora of bird life.
Oh yes, the kookaburra.
First few days I was here, Cookie the kookaburra came and I fed it, and first day he got raw mint, second day he got some ham, third day he didn't get anything, and he's not been back since.
No.
But there's just a plethora of bird life, which is just absolutely wonderful.
That's another thing I miss in the UK is the UK bird song, because it's like tweet tweet tweet. Here it's like ah.
Oh, there's what's called a digital bird, and it literally sounds like a digital.
It's not actually called a digital bird. It's not. Carl and I just call it a digital bird.
You and Carl, but it sounds like a. It sounds like an alarm going off or something.
It'll wake you up in the morning.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, come on, Mum, let's get
right. Okay, so Anne asks, what have you done that has really helped you settle into a new country, and did it feel scary starting all over again?
Did it feel scary? I'm going to say no.
No, I think once you made the decision, that was it.
Yeah, because I was pretty resolute. It was exhausting.
Yeah.
Just because the amount of administration and stuff and you need to do. I mean, luckily I'm here on a spousal visa, and there's family here already. I have got inbuilt family because my dad and my stepmother have been married 28 years, I think. And I've got two brothers out here, and then they've got their entire network of friends and family. So we had inbuilt family. So settling it, and Carl's obviously got friends from his life here. So in terms of that, it didn't feel scary because we had this just instant safety net. What have I done that's really helped you settle into a new family? Do you know what it is?
I think setting up your home has helped.
It's been lovely doing that from the beginning. I miss a lot of things from my old home because we only came over in like a box room size crate. Well, it wasn't a crate. Yeah, it was a crate. Yeah, but it was the size of a box room. So there were lots of things that we couldn't bring that I had to part with. I don't know if you can spot up here. I started to collect the beryl again. But Carl's promised me that I wouldn't get quite as much as I did back in the UK. But this is what's helped me settle in, actually, is bringing my passions with me. So going to antique centres. I've picked up so many. What's been really lovely is because, I mean, I'm not really into modern stuff. It's all vintage for me. Picking up women's weekly magazines from the 1950s, 60s, some from the 40s as well, and reading about all of those people, like pretty much £10 poms. Obviously, quite a few of them were Australian from, generations before, but seeing them doing life that I resonate with over here. Yeah. And through that, you learn the history of certain places. Like, for instance, there's a lingerie shop in my local town that's been going for 50 years and ironically set up by a lady called Beryl. So just learning the women's domestic social history through vintage hunting has really helped me mentally connect here. Because also there's a lot less of in England, you've got that kind of English country style, a lot more collected stuff. It's easier to pick up antiques and integrate them in your home, whereas here it's modern and more modern. So that made me feel a little bit kind of like a fish out of water for a while. But like this beautiful dresser behind me, I mean, it's not got any great age, but it's got that style, so it's got that feel about it. So making it feel like my home. I think that's helped an awful lot. Yeah, definitely. I think something clicked this year actually that made me finally feel like, this is my home. It's about collecting those things around you that you love and that you love to look at, and that helps with settling, I think. Is having sort of the things that resonate with you. And I think as well, this is another thing. I actually left this question off. I don't know why I left it off, but someone said, is this your forever home? And I can't say it is, but only because you never know. You never know. What the future holds. We're committed to staying here until Arlo finishes school, so we've got quite a few years ahead of us here specifically. But beyond that, I don't know. I'm not sure if personally Australia is my forever home. For Carl, it feels like home. We've mentioned the idea we actually said it jokingly to Arlo a while back. We've got to move back to England, and he loves it here.
Yeah.
For me, I'm not so sure, but do you know what? Again, as much as I finally made the decision, I very much did the TradWife thing and followed my husband where he'd be happiest, because there's nothing worse than being married to someone who's unhappy. He wasn't unhappy, but I knew that this would make my family as a collective happier. I've definitely made some personal sacrifices in doing that, like leaving the only place I've ever known. But you know, it's just the other side of the world, and we're lucky that, you know, there's so many more plane tickets, and you've been able to come out. I had some friends come out at Easter. I've got my very best friend coming out for Christmas, so it doesn't seem quite so scary.
It's not so scary, because, you know, there is, you know, we have the technology now where, you know, back in the day it was, you know, it was the airmail letters that would take 6, 7, 8 weeks to get to you. You know, telephone calls were expensive. So technology today is makes it so much easier, I think, in that sense that, you know, and you know, these questions asking how did you make the move, I had a lot of friends say to me when I said that Alena and Carl and Arlo were moving to Australia, oh no, what are you going to do? You know, that's so sad. And I said, it's not sad. I said, they need to go and live their life and have the adventures. You know, it's not like I'm an old decrepit, you know, woman who, you know, relies on them being here and all of those. No, I didn't bring children into the world for them to stay by my side forever. It's about creating memories. It's about having those adventures. And so as much as I did bawl my eyes out when you went,
she held it together though until we got in the car.
Until they got in the car,
just waving me off like this,
and I shut the door, and then but anyway, it's no, and it's great, and we do, as you say, we have far more contact now, I think, than when you only lived about 20 minutes.
And I think it's more intentional.
And it's far more intentional, which is better as well.
I do miss you. I tell you when I miss my mum the most, it's when I'm ill.
Yeah, when she's ill,
she's
FaceTime. I feel really ill.
Mum's such a good nurse. I really miss you. I think the first time I got ill, but like I think it was a week after we moved here, and it was the heat of summer, and I think I had a cold, like I'd caught one off the plane or something. I just want my mum. Yeah. I just want my mum to come in the car.
That's the hard time. That's the hard time for me as well, when I know that Alena really needs me and I can't physically
when I've got
be
a
there.
cold.
You know, when she's got a cold.
But sometimes I've had some emotional wobbles, and I, you know.
Yeah.
I think because that's natural. It's natural.
Yeah.
So,
and, you know, and there is a good saying, this too will pass. So, you know, it's kind of like, you know, as much as I can give the lovely mummy hugs, I also have to give the emotional support.
Yeah.
You know, so, and it's basically pull up your big girl knickers and get on with it.
She does say that.
I do say that. Yeah. You've got this. You've got this.
She parented very much like I do. You fall down and go, did you get hurt? No. All right, come on then, up you get.
No,
try again.
Mine was, is it bleeding profusely? Is it hanging on by a thread? No, then just crack on.
Yeah, or do I need to chop it off?
Yeah, or, you know, yeah. Just basically that was
tough parenting.
So, tough parenting.
Right,
but anyway, right. Bonnie asked, is there anything you wish you would have brought with you to Australia? Me!
Obviously, Mum. I miss so much. There's a box of books in your garage, like some really precious signed books and things.
Other than the books that I brought in my suitcase.
There's some books just out of shot up there.
I'm not kidding when I say my clothes were in the hand luggage. Everything in the massive suitcase was clothes that they'd left behind, books, food that they wanted me to bring. There was even what was that Carl's thing? Not a modem thingy, what was it?
Some balancer thing, I don't know. We had to, we weighed our suitcases on the very last day. We were like, we were just cutlery.
Oh, a set of cutlery.
A set of cutlery. It's like the most, I bought it in Aldi. It's like that Laguiole French stuff, but I used it in the garden for like barbecues and stuff, and I really missed it. I was like, could you please make my cutlery?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just a bit fussy with things like that. It was only like a £30 thing from Aldi, but you know when you just connect with somebody,
When
it's
you
like,
can,
that's my
exactly,
favourite
it's
thing.
something that you love, and therefore, you know,
If
you
they'd have
wanted it,
opened
so-
if they'd have pulled you aside like they do, like customs, and opened your suitcase, it would have been the most random things in there.
Absolutely most random
Yeah.
things were in that suitcase.
I really wish that I could just have packed up my entire house and bought everything with me, like all the vintage I'd collected. But I also felt so resolute that, particularly like the Berylware collection and stuff, that it had to stay in the UK. Like I just thought, I know someone else will love it. I also didn't want to risk it getting smashed. And so I thought I'm gonna, I passed it on to other collectors. But look what's appearing in my life again. It's so funny. I bought a little collection in a antique centre, so paid far more than I ever would have at home, because I used to buy it from charity shops. But this was a 40th birthday present from my friend Steph. She found it in, I think, a vintage reselling thing, but they didn't know what it was, so it was very reasonably priced. I think it was $8. So
Yeah.
to have the fabled toast rack again is amazing, and it does make me really happy, because some things I think you do really connect with.
Yeah.
And Steffi is coming out at Christmas with something that I regret getting rid of. It's so simple. It's a milk thing that they used to have in like cafes with like a beryl coloured plastic lid, like a sugar pourer.
Yeah, I know. But it's lovely. I remember them.
I know. So
I remember you had them, and they're functional.
and
did
they're
the
beautiful,
job,
and they've got,
they're actually really lovely to look at.
and they give
so.
sorry, flies everywhere. This is Australia. They give me that. I feel like I'm in Mar Larkin's kitchen.
Yeah.
Like
they give
that
you joy.
That is what gives me joy.
They give
So
you
yeah,
joy.
it's nothing,
Yeah.
nothing incredibly expensive. Just
No.
funny little vintage knickknacks that I picked up here and there, and of course this vintage knickknack. I wish I bought her. Right, let's wrap this up.
Absolutely.
We're going to film a couple more, so subscribe, like, all the usual things. I'll probably space them out, and then it'll feel like she's still here with me, because I'll get to edit these. So. Anyway, good day everybody.
Good day.
Yeah, see you next time. Bye.